Hello and welcome back to today's final splash of paint. Now it's time to rejoin versatile SAA artist Paul Beattie for his final spoonful of acrylic inspiration in the concluding part of today's Try Your Hand At project.
Hi, earlier on in the program you saw me get to this step here, so we're just going to continue with the painting. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to get some titanium white on the edge of the spoon again, and I'm also going to mix in a little bit of the black. Because what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're just going to layer the white and the black in here. Just a random mix. Don't forget to clean the bottom of your spoon. I know it's mixing anyway, but I just like to use a clean spoon every time, and that way you get into the habit of using a clean spoon. I'll just put some white in and some black. I'll just add a little bit more in here, a little bit more black. And it's, as you can see, it's just mixing as I apply it to the canvas. Okay, just like that. I don't want a straight white and a straight black. You need the black and white, you need the greys, you need the different colors for the contrast. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just coming in and I'm just layering some over the canvas here, just like so. I'll clean the spoon and I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to do some zigzag methods here, mixing that paint and bringing it up and down. And what we're going to do is, with this, as you can see, it's creating little tufts of grass. And the only thing you got to remember when you're doing this is you got to remember that there's going to be, you have to have the light contrast between different areas, so it's going to be a little bit lighter somewhere, a little bit darker in other areas. If you want to get really correct with it, then you can think about the direction of the moon and where the light's going to be coming through and so forth. But just for the demonstration here, I'm just going to basically mix it on, and there you go. Okay, I'm not going to make grasses with that yet. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to use the side of the spoon again, and we're going to just mimic those trees down here, just coming down the canvas. Because when you do water reflections, you also get the reflection of what's around it, or behind it, beside it. So I'm just making the impression that these tree trunks are coming down. It doesn't have to be too accurate. It's just to represent what's there. Okay, and don't forget the little bit of the light. Make sure you do it on the same side, and the light reflection from the moon that's on the trunks. And just bring a bit of white in there and just pull it down and mix it with the actual trunk itself. Okay, and I'm going to do a technique here, whereas you're making some grasses coming up, and then after you've done this, I'm only going about halfway through the paint that I've actually applied to it. I'm using the top half. And just like so. I mean, you don't have to do the whole thing as grasses all the way across. You leave spaces, and it creates ground, it creates earth in between the blades of the grass. And once you've done that, then you just basically come and do exactly the same. And you do it downwards this time. And as I say, it's really simple, it's really effective, and it's an impressionistic landscape, really. So it's just to represent a mirror image of what you've got on top. If you see that you have a little bit of an area and it doesn't really look right, you just add some more of the opposite colour, or a bit more of the black and the white, and you can just bring it all down like so. I would like to get a little bit more foliage in the top there, just to balance those trees in a little bit better. So again, with the tip, I'm going to come in here to the moon, I'm just putting a little bit of white on there, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the impression that there's a few leaves coming over these branches and in front of this tree as well. And what that does is it plants the actual trees in the painting, and it pushes them further back, and it just adds that little bit of balance then There you go. And I'll just do the same on all the trees, obviously. And as you can see, I'm coming into the moon here. I'm just making the moon a little wider, but that's good. You know, there's no problem with that whatsoever. As I said, normally it's the moon's wet with the underlayer, and no, it's a great technique to use. You know, it's using the moon for removing some of the excess paint off your spoon is superb. It's a good way to do it without wasting any of your paint by rubbing it off too much. I mean, you do have to wipe your spoon off on the cloth I got here. You do have to do that, just to ensure that you don't get any hard bits on the bottom of your spoon. I'm just going to kind of represent a couple of branches as well, like is above on the trees, but obviously go in the opposite direction. These will be going downwards instead of upwards because it's a mirror image, and it's just to show the basic representation of some branches coming off. Okay. Alright, here we go. Just a couple more branches in. Yeah, it's a bit thicker, but that's okay. As I said, if you do make a mistake and you make your branches too thick, you can always come in after with some white. And you can run along the edge of it and hide it slightly. And I'll also just quickly represent the moon so it's also in the reflection. Just making a basic shape. And it's not going to be perfectly round. I'll just wipe that a little bit off there and put some black over top. That's it. Okay. What I'm going to do is come along here where I've done the grasses and the edge of the water, and I'll just add a little bit more black, a little bit more colour, and just zigzag it. It's still wet, so you can still come in and do these zigzags. Okay. I'm going to come in now, get some white right on the very edge, and I'm just going to make some lines to represent ripples in the water, which again will push everything here even further back. I'm just using the very tip of the spoon here, just the very edge. I'm not using the side of the base, I'm just using that part there. So I'm loading it, just like so. It's really thin, and I'm just coming in directly like that, and just making a line. Try to keep the line going straight, so that it flows with the water. There you go. It's quite simple, really. Once you've got it lined up, and you can do the same coming in here. You can make a line coming across the actual the riverbank to split it in half. Maybe do a couple more. And it's just using the paint. Just basically using the paint that's already there and wet, and just by dragging the spoon across, you're creating those lines. Okay. I will just put a couple more of these little leaves, just to represent the leaves in the forest coming over the foreground trees. And maybe one or two in the just to push them back slightly. Down. I'll just straighten this tree trunk out slightly. So basically, this is basically what I wanted to show you here today. We basically created, just from two colours, titanium white and black, both Liquitex soft body acrylics. It's a lot easier with soft body than heavy body, because heavy body does not flow off the spoon very well. We just, as a basic demonstration, we just created a black background, come over the top of the black. We covered the whole thing black, not just part of it. Come over the black, started from the centre here with the moon, working outwards, and spreading that white over the page to create a foliage over the whole thing. Then we've come in with some basic tree lines, made some branches, put some light and shadow, made some grasses underneath, and we've made a mirror image, a basic mirror image of what you see above, down below, and just by simply creating some lines through the painting, we've created a great water reflection. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this here today, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks again, Paul. Spooky to see how so many layers and shades can be created using just 2 simple colours and a teaspoon. Okay, we've just got time to answer a few more of the artistic questions you have been sending into the Splash Your Paint studio. Let's get started with this one from Katie Hartson, who asks, I've seen iridescent medium for use with watercolours, but what exactly does it do? Well, I can show you this. I've painted this Halloween spooky little picture, which is the fire heating the cauldron of the witch's brew. And I've actually already put a little bit of iridescent medium on this. Now, the reason for this is because it does look a lot more vivid and better and more punchy when it actually dries. But just to show you how to apply it, iridescent medium is basically a very fine aluminium glitter, but really, really fine. And it's something I use quite a lot. I use it for snow scenes, making a nice frosty effect on paintings. I use it in the splashing waves on a seascape. Very nice medium to use. If you work into this, if you're laying it over the top of an image, very simply clean your brush, make sure it's not too wet, and simply stick it in the actual fluid and just paint over the top of the actual area that you want to make glisten. Now, it's not all that obvious, and it doesn't always show up that well. It's the kind of medium that you just walk past and glance on it and actually look at as you see it, and it can really make a nice sort of non-tacky sparkly effect, but it does look slightly better when it's actually dry. The other way to use it is to mix it with colour. So if I put some crimson, alizarin crimson, and just put a big brush full of iridescent medium into this, kind of goes a bit pastel-y, and then just basically paint over. You can see the paint's got like a bit of a iridescent sparkle to it, and it makes a lovely shimmer. Really good for snow scenes. Mix it with some pale blue to get the shadows in the snow. One thing not to worry about, it is water-based, so it won't ruin your brushes like masking fluid might do. And there you go, that's iridescent medium. And the final question has come from Sean Butler, who has emailed in to ask, why is it called pastel painting and not pastel drawing? This is one of those questions that I get quite commonly asked. And I asked a good friend of mine, Jeremy Ford, to clarify this. And basically, it's to do with the amount of colour that goes onto the page. If the paper is completely covered in pastel, then it's classed as a pastel painting. If it's only covering a little bit of the paper, this is a method commonly adopted by Vic Bearcroft, as he's doing his quick pieces of work, then it's a pastel sketch. I hope this makes sense. Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today, but join us next time when Louise Bogard returns to demonstrate how to create a lovely coastal watercolour, and versatile artist David Hyde reveals how watercolour is perfect for capturing the beauty and texture of rust. We celebrate the golden tones of autumn in our regular Trees Through the Seasons feature, and popular pencil wizard Malcolm Cudmore shares some more of his artistic secrets. I'll see you next time for another colourful edition of A Splash of Paint.
If you'd like to receive a regular splash of paint, sign up to the SAA's free e-newsletter. Visit www.saa.co.uk. We'll make sure you get all the latest news, exclusive offers and events delivered direct to your desktop.